Hi and welcome to this 1 hour practice. The intention of this practice is around the space of the heart. So this area right across the chest, both the front and the back. And the invitation really is to, when we think about the different spaces in the body, we can think of this feeling of coming to the mat to tune in a little bit deeper with the feeling around the heart space. So perhaps moving, if we have a busy mind, moving deeper into the body to hear the quieter voice of the heart. That is the intention this week of the practice. So with that in mind, one of the fastest ways I find to come out of a busy mind and tune more in with the quiet wisdom that sits within my body as well is to use sound. And whether that is listening to something and just receiving the sound or actually creating the sound myself. So let's begin this evening with some Brahmari breath. So Brahmari is humming, and you can just join in your own time. But we'll close the eyes, find a comfortable seat, and however that feels for you. Perhaps you're propping up on a block or some cushions, legs extended or cross-legged. And perhaps needing some support behind you. So maybe going closer to the wall or perhaps having the sofa if you're at home. Close down the eyes or hold a soft gaze. And just begin by noticing the base of your posture, the way that the sit bones are making connection with the earth. And that simple connection that we have with the earth and the ground and what that offers us. And then becoming aware of this central axis within you, this central axis of the spine, and how this helps us stay upright. It gives us our positioning in the world and in our lives. And so perhaps maintaining some activation there by lifting the chest bone ever so slightly, and perhaps a feeling of lifting through the top of the head. And whilst maintaining that posture, feeling a sense of softening around that central axis. So softening around the belly, letting the arms relax, letting the shoulders relax, the face and the jaw. And we'll begin to create some sound here with the breath. So naturally when we hum, it allows us to extend the exhale in a very natural way. And we start to activate the rest and digest part of your nervous system. So first of all, let's really fill up with the breath. So take a deep breath in through the nose. And then empty out fully out through the mouth. Maybe even with a little audible sigh. Let's do that again. Breathe in. And a sigh out. And one more like that, really nourishing breath in, filling yourself up. And emptying out. And then this next time we'll breathe in, close the mouth and start to hum on the exhale. Any note, doesn't matter. Take a breath in. And keep going. When you get to the end of the hum, take another breath in and just keep going like that. 4 more in your own time. Allowing to linger there in the stillness. Before we begin to move, we'll create one Om together, taking a deep breath in. And again, lingering in the stillness afterwards, and the echo of that sound, of that vibration, that frequency, feeling that around the heart space. And you could take this mudra where we link the thumbs and then kind of turn the hands around. In fact, you can just place your, cross the hands over to link the thumbs. This is probably the easiest way in to show you when I'm not with you. And then place the hands on your heart. And just feel the warmth of the hands. And so sound is frequency, vibration, and everything we created there has kind of settled around the heart and all around the body and affected the cells, because so much of our body is water, so we create this beautiful vibration. And perhaps a contemplation before we begin to move is, what does the heart wish to say? And just listening for that. Maybe you get nothing, maybe you get a word, maybe you get a feeling or an emotion. And gently releasing that hand mudra, that position, and coming out of the cross-legged and making your way over onto all fours into tabletop. Using some padding for the knees for your comfort, making sure that you have that feeling of comfort in your practice. So we come into tabletop feeling that stability, the 4 points, the hands and the knees. And then taking a breath in and dropping the belly down as you lift the chin up. And then as you exhale, take it the other way, chin to chest, pressing the ground away. Breathing in to drop the belly down, arch in the spine. And then as you exhale and lengthen the exhale, press the ground away, chin to chest. Deep breath as you fill yourself up and drop the belly. Long exhale as you take it the other way. And keep moving like this at your pace, your rhythm, letting the breath lead the way. Three more in your own time. And then coming back to center, come to this neutral spine. And we'll extend the right leg out to the back of the mat and come onto the inner blade of that right foot. And at the same time, turn the left shin out to the side. And we're moving into a supported side plank. So pressing through the left hand. Take your time as you kind of unfurl here and lift the right arm up. And feel this opening across the chest. Soften left ear to left shoulder and continue that breath, filling yourself up and lengthening the exhale. Steady rhythm, making a rotation in the top wrist in one direction and then the other. And low lunge from here. So if you take the gaze down to the left hand, you're going to bring that right foot around to the front in lunge. So you could heel toe it around, you could give it a hand around. You might see if you can float it around to the front and come into a low lunge. Hands down on fingertips, or you might use 2 blocks here. Or you could interlace fingers and take them on the thighs, so your choice. Either way, settling the hips forwards and breathing into that space. Maybe things are feeling tight. So continue to lengthen your breath, keep it soft, keep it kind in terms of the energy of the breath, kind. And take a really nourishing breath in. And on this exhale, start to extend the front leg, keeping the sole of the foot down and finding a little half split. So pressing through the right big toe. And then we'll move through backwards and forwards. So breathing in to rebend and look forwards. And breathing out to half split. And that again, taking that breath in as you rebend and sink forwards. And exhaling, emptying out as you half split. One more, inhale, sinking forwards. And exhale as you half split. Inhale to come back into the lunge, tuck the left toes and start to raise the left leg up, coming into pyramid. That pretty gentle pyramid to start with. We can step that back foot in a little bit, hands on blocks or fingertips down on the floor, and take a little shift backwards and forwards. So when you shift the left heel down, you can flex the front foot, so lift the ball of the foot up. And then as you shift the weight back onto the right foot, you can lift the left heel up. So shifting backwards and forwards like that, feeling up through the backs of your legs. And seeing if you can match with the breath. So maybe inhaling as you shift forwards. And exhaling as you shift back. And on your next inhale, step left foot in to join the right. And come to a forward fold. You can turn that into a bit of a ragdoll by taking the feet wider apart. Let the upper body hang. You could dangle the arms here. Let the shoulders be really heavy. Or you could take hold of opposite elbows. Stillness or movement. Maybe some more of those audible sighs. Helping us just to release tension, anything we've kind of gathered in the day, some of it not even ours, so we can release. Then releasing the hands down. If you widened the stance, bring the feet underneath the hips. Take a breath in to fill yourself up. And then use that long exhale to roll up the spine. Rolling slowly upwards, and take some shoulder rolls from front to back. And back to front. Standing in quite a relaxed Tadasana with the arms just alongside the body. Nothing too much effort, but feeling through the soles of your feet. Feel the connection with the ground. And that central axis of the spine. And then the connection through the top of the head to something bigger. Something greater. And then the heart being the bridge between the two. Take a deep breath in to fill up. And we go the other way. As you exhale, drop the chin to the chest and then keep rolling back down the spine. Have some bend in the knees as you do that. Come all the way down. Inhale for a halfway lift. Hands can reach for the shins. Feel that lengthening through the spine. And then as you exhale, step back to your tabletop. So we drop the knees back down. Breathe in, drop the belly as you lift up the chin. And breathe out as you round and go the other way. Look back to your belly. Look inwards. Breathe in as you look out. And breathe out as you look in. On your inhale, come back to center. On your exhale, left leg's going to extend behind you and turn onto the inner blade of the left foot, turning right shin out to the side, supported side plank. Really indulge in that left arm kind of unfurling and opening up. Open up your heart space. Soften the right ear to the right shoulder so the head doesn't have anything to do. Can take a break and ease some of the little muscles in the neck. Take a rotation in the top wrist from one direction and then the other. And low lunge. Inhale, left foot comes through, heel toeing, or maybe you give it a hand through, or maybe float it through. Coming to the front into your low lunge. Fingertips, blocks, maybe you're rising. Maybe you feel more of a stretch in your hip flexor there. And breathing here for a moment. Soften around the face and the jaw to just allow yourself to be here with a sense of ease rather than too much effort or battle. Feeling the belly fill up and empty out. And on this next inhale, inflate the belly, and as you exhale, extend the front leg, shift the hips back, half split. And we'll keep moving like that with the breath. Inhale, bend the left knee, sink the hips forwards, maybe the gaze lifts. And as you exhale, that same feeling of going inwards, so extending the front leg, maybe the face drops down. Inhale to kind of come out and face outwards, come forwards. And exhale, as you take your gaze more inwards, maybe towards the heart space. One more there, inhale as you lift the gaze, and exhale as you come in. On your inhale, come back, rebend left knee, tuck right toes, start to raise the right knee up and find that pyramid pose. So step right foot in a little bit and take that movement of shifting backwards and forwards, lifting and flexing the front foot, lifting the heel of the back foot and then dropping it down. So it's like this little, almost like a pendulum, moving backwards and forwards. And this whole practice kind of speaks to where we're at in the season. We're at Imbolc, which is halfway between the winter equinox, the winter solstice even, and the spring equinox. So we're sort of still in the bit in between, the threshold of winter and spring. So we're kind of, we're still in that wintering feeling, but we've got this kind of glimmer of light. The days are getting a bit longer. We're turning towards the light and the growth. On an inhale, right foot steps in to join the left and come into your forward fold. Take a breath in to fill yourself up. And as you breathe out, rolling up the spine. With the head coming up last. Take that same hand mudra, so crossing the right hand in front of the left, hooking the thumbs and place your hands on your heart. And coming back to the intention of the class, the space of the heart. And perhaps inviting a vulnerable part of yourself or a tender part of yourself, an aspect of yourself that you want to invite in to be nurtured in this practice. Releasing the hands and then sweep them up above your head, breathing in. And as you exhale, make that bow down to the earth. And as you breathe out, step left leg back behind you. So we come back into that same lunge, untucking the back toes and then interlacing the fingers onto your thigh this time. Pressing away from the thigh to lift the chest bone. Feel a stretch. Hip flexor. Deep breaths to fill the belly up, fill the heart up, and empty back out. Anchoring yourself, pressing through the sole of the right foot, the top of the back foot. On this next exhale, drop left hand next to the right foot. And like we did at the beginning, making that unfurling of the right arm up to the ceiling and softening left ear to left shoulder. Breathe in as you take the arm back and breathe out. Same movement as before. We start to extend the front leg and sweep the right arm over. And as you exhale, rebending right knee and taking the arm back. So let's feel the rhythm of that. Inhaling, arm comes over, extension in the front leg, pressing through the sole of that front foot, and exhale as the arm goes back. One more, inhale, arm comes over. Exhale as you rebend and the arm goes back. This time, inhale, take the arm over one more time and then stay there with that extension in the front leg. Drop right hand to frame the right foot. Chest bone facing. And allow the head to drop here and relax. And on an inhale, rebend the right knee, tuck the left toes, and raise back up into the pyramid pose, stepping the back foot in a little bit. And either using blocks either side for something to rest your hands on, or if the hands reach the floor. And then let your head be heavy and stay in a little bit of stillness here in your pyramid pose. Allowing the head to be heavy, pressing through the sole of the right foot to feel this activation up through the right leg. Hands either on blocks, or you can take them off the blocks here to take the right leg back. So we're going to slide the right leg back or heel toe it around the side, and then drop the knees to come into a modified plank. So rather than being in tabletop here where you're kind of on all fours, we shift forwards and let the hips drop down enough to feel that core activation, and then we'll take some little dips. So we take a breath in, and as you exhale, you begin to bend the elbows back, keeping them close in and dropping chest bone. Maybe it's just a little way, and on your exhale, pushing back up. So as you breathe in, lowering down a little dip, and then exhale, push back up. Inhale, just a little dip, wherever you can go to hold it. And exhale as you push back up. Feel the fire building in your arms. One more dip, and then breathe out to push back up. Really well done. And then as you exhale, lowering all the way down onto your belly. Coming into cobra, hands underneath the shoulders, elbows close into the ribs, as you use back muscles here to lift up, lift your chest bone, get a sense of bringing the ribs forwards. Really good. On your exhale, child's pose, stretch back the other way. On an inhale, lifting back up and into downward facing dog. I'm pedaling in the feet here, so we're dropping one heel, bending the other knee, and just walking in your down dog. Left foot's going to step through to lunge. So inhale, left foot steps through, or heel toe it around, or give it a hand around to the front, and lower the right knee down. Inhale, up and interlace fingers onto the thigh, coming into this side. Use the hands to press away from the thigh and lift the chest bone. Feel a stretch around the front of the right hip. Allowing yourself just to be. Being present here with the breath, with the stretch. And then dropping your right hand down inside the left foot. You could have a block underneath your right hand here. That could feel really supportive. Same movement as the beginning. We start to curl open the left arm, supporting ourselves in this lunge twist. Softening right ear to right shoulder. Yes, nice. So the head is doing less. Really good. Inhaling, left arm reaches back behind you. And as you exhale, same movement we did at the beginning, extending the front leg, the left arm coming over. And then exhale, rebend, the arm goes back. Inhaling, extending the leg, reach the arm over. Exhaling, rebending, left arm goes back. 2 more of these. Inhale, arm comes over, leg extends, exhale, rebend, left arm goes back. Last one. Inhale, extend the front leg, press through the sole of the left foot, and exhale as you rebend, take the arm back. Last one to bring it forward. Inhale, arm comes over, extend the front leg, keep it like that, and drop left hand down. So here we're framing the front foot. Maybe you can find a little bit of depth to lower the head down. So perhaps closing the gap between belly and thigh. And on an inhale, lifting and using your hands to support as you tuck the right toes, raise the right knee and come into pyramid. Stepping back foot in a little bit, maybe widening the feet apart, like they're on train tracks, could feel a bit more steady. And then using whatever props, so maybe the blocks, or maybe your hands reach the ground. Lowering the head down. And this time get a sense of squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. And feel how that changes this pose. Feel the connection with the ground. And the space created by the breath. Maybe in this position, when you breathe in, you might really tune into the sides of your ribs and the backs of your ribs. Feeling that expansion and contraction. On an inhale, lifting the gaze, taking left foot back again, however you get it there, and coming down into the modified plank. So drop the knees down, untuck the toes. Ready for those little tricep dips, creating some warmth around the upper arms. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, a little dip. So just see where you can hold it enough that when you breathe out, you can lift back up. So it might only come a little way. And just explore. So dipping down and then pressing the ground away to come back up. What can really help is if you kind of turn the inner eyes of your elbows forwards. So it's like you have this kind of external rotation of the upper arms. And then bend the elbows so they're kind of bending backwards. The arms are bending backwards, if that makes sense. So that basically your elbows aren't kind of splaying out to the side when you come down. So you support your shoulders. Last one. And then make your way all the way down with the heat in your arms and come to low cobra. Lift chest bone, get a sense of ribs reaching forwards, chest bone looking ahead. And then as you exhale, child's pose, take it back the other way. Downward facing dog. Sending the hips back up. Walking out your dog. Noticing how each calf muscle feels. Does one feel different to the other? Do they feel the same? Maybe lingering on one side. And then coming to stillness, come to this place of balance. Left hand, left foot, right foot. On an inhale, raise the right leg behind you. And on an exhale, we're going to bring that left knee and shin all the way through to sit behind the left wrist. So drop that right knee down just behind the left wrist. So much like the beginning pose, we turn the left foot onto the inner blade and then start to press through the right hand and curl open the left arm. So this one's called supported fallen star. Same thing, softening right ear to right shoulder. Pressing through the right hand and a little sense of squeezing the hips forward slightly. Really good. On your exhale, left hand comes down to support you as you come into a pigeon. So we'll extend, if you can, extend the left leg back behind you. So getting a sense of kind of stretching it back. And then come onto your right thigh, bringing the calf around if you can. Or you could place a block underneath your right thigh for support. And in this pigeon, we're going to stay elevated. So you could be on your fingertips or you might use blocks to stay up there. Again, breathing into your hip space and making this work for you. Like if it doesn't work to extend that back leg and it's tricky, then you could take it slightly differently and have a bend in both knees and point yourself more towards the right foot. The different options. Keeping chest bone lifted. So we have this sense of kind of waking up, looking forwards, looking at the direction that we're going. And there's also the option, if it doesn't feel like too much of a force or a struggle, like I wouldn't push anything, but you could bend the left knee and bring the foot inwards and then see if that left hand could reach backwards and catch the foot. Like if you can, then good, but I wouldn't force it. I remember doing this a while back and I got a real cramp in my hamstrings, so I kind of collapsed out of the pose. So never forcing anything, but if it works and you've got your foot, focus on pressing the foot into the hand, so that actually what you're feeling is this opening left side chest. Yeah, nice. So turning the chest bone and the head forwards, but pressing that left foot into the hand. One more breath here. And then gently releasing the left foot, letting that foot come back down and making our way back into downward facing dog. So tucking the left toes, you might come onto all fours first, maybe even take a little stretch back and then make your way to down dog. Pedaling in the feet, walking out your dog. Now let's take that to the other side. So on your inhale, raising the right leg behind you. And on your exhale, begin to bring the left knee through and underneath you and drop it down behind the right wrist. So weight goes through the left hand, extending right leg to the back, coming onto the sort of bringing the foot across. And then starting to open up the right arm here, fallen star. Soften left ear to left shoulder. And on the exhale, the right hand coming down. And coming back into the pigeon on this side. So start to slide the right leg back, kind of inch by inch, and come onto the top of the back foot. The left shin, seeing if you can kind of heel toe the left foot forwards a little bit. And maybe placing a block underneath the left thigh could help you feel supported. Staying elevated here, so this is a very awake pigeon. We're roosting. So feeling this sense of lifting chest bone. And any little adjustments that you need once you're in a pose, if you need to do something else, then you do that. And maybe it's padding the back knee, the right knee, maybe it's something underneath the left thigh, making sure that it feels comfortable. So either staying here and just focusing on the breath and this sensations around the hips, or you could add bending the right knee, bringing the foot inwards and reaching the right arm back. Seeing if you can catch the foot, taking hold of it. If you can't, you could just reach the arm back anyway and get that same stretch. If you can catch the foot, then start to focus on pressing the foot into the hand. So you're pressing the foot away from you, helping to create this opening right side chest. Breathing into that space. Two more breaths here. Gently release the foot, lower the right foot back down. If you had something underneath your left thigh, remove it and come onto the left thigh now and help the right leg around. So bring the legs out in front of you for a seated forward fold for a moment. Again, you could stay elevated here, focusing on flexing the feet and easing the chest bone towards the feet. Or you might have space to fold down bit by bit, wherever you get to, relaxing the head. Maybe you can reach and take support from the feet, wrapping your hands, your fingers around the heels if that works, or maybe the first 2 fingers and thumb around the big toes. And slowly releasing and allowing yourself to curl back up and then make your way down. So we're going to finish on our backs with a fish pose. So again, this is a really good chest opener, but we can do it in a very restorative way. So if you take one block and have it landscape behind you. So you've got the big flat edge of the block, you're going to lay it landscape, sit it behind you, and then shift the hips down, come down onto your elbows, and then you want to position your block kind of so it sits just underneath the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. So it's kind of, you know, literally kind of mid-back, sitting with your ribs on it. So, I mean, I haven't got a block actually, but I have my roll here and I can do the same thing. So I come down and you'll be able to sort of feel where you might need to shift back a little bit, but basically it's so that the shoulder blades are just above the block and then you're able to let the head come down onto the floor. And open out the arms alongside the body with the palms of the hands facing up. And we'll stay here to just allow stillness for this kind of chest opening, heart opening. And as I was saying at the beginning, with that feeling of softening around the support of the spine, now we can get a sense of softening around the support of the block. It's almost like allow your shoulders to sort of really kind of melt around the block, taking full support. And allow your belly to be soft and your pelvis and your hips. You know, sometimes to really help that along, because it's hard to kind of stop the gripping and the resistance, we can do these kind of lip trills, these fluttering of the lips with the breath. So you can take a deep breath in and then flutter the lips. It can help release the jaw. And the jaw is connected to the pelvis, so you can carry on with those. As an option, or maybe the big sighs out. Or maybe those turn into hums. awareness of stillness. Sensing around the chest and the throat and the neck. Noticing any areas where the tension or the gripping resistance kind of creeps back in, and seeing if you can soften around the support of the block. We really need to take our time coming out of this, because these muscles that we're pressing into right now at the back can be quite tender. So we really need to take our time and take it stage by stage. So first of all, bending the left knee and bringing the left foot in, bending the right knee and bringing the right foot in, and then choose a side to fold over to, so left or right. But really just bring the other arm with you to slowly, really slowly roll off. And then you can push the block away or remove it. And then roll back onto your back. And take a happy baby. Bending the knees, taking hold of the thighs or the edges of the feet, or again, big, first two fingers and thumb round the big toe. Maybe your toes need a bit of stretching. And take a rock from side to side, so we're massaging out in the area that just was feeling support around the block. Maybe getting some little clicks and pops as you rock from side to side. And releasing the feet or the thighs, hugging your knees into your chest. And taking the knees over to the left and opening the right arm out. So a little spinal twist. 2 breaths in this twist. Breathing in to fill up and out to empty out. Another deep, nourishing breath in and empty out. Bringing the knees back to center and over to the right. Hug them higher than the hips as you open out left arm. 2 deep breaths here. Inwards to fill up and out to empty. Breathing in to expand around the ribs. And breathing out to feel the support of the ground. Inhale as you bring knees back to the center. Give yourself a big hug. And then extend the legs out into your Shavasana. Maybe you want to take up a bit more space. If you've got it at home, you could really take the legs much wider, the arms. Face the palms of the hands upwards. Feel that sense of surrender into rest, into support. Feeling the sense of something or someone behind you that you can lean into for support. Maybe it's the ground, maybe it's the earth, or maybe you have somebody in mind. Perhaps it's yourself. Shavasana. Softly bringing some awareness back. Noticing the connection with the back of your body to the earth, and particularly the upper back, all across the upper back, the back of your heart space. Just feeling some support in that area, making some little movements, fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, perhaps a turn of the head to the left and over to the right. When you're ready, bringing knees into your chest, keep deepening your breath and roll over one side or the other. Continue to breathe as you use your hands to bring yourself back up to a seated position to close the practice together, to seal the practice, seal the energy. Bring the palms of the hands together in prayer, rest your thumbs to your heart and press the hands inwards. Again, sensing that central axis of the spine and how we can have this blend of structure and support, but also softening around that support. And taking a deep breath in and a soft sigh out through the mouth as you bow your head. Namaste. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.